Okay, so John just reminded me to record this stream, which is great. So we're playing an even game. I have no Komi. I have never played against John, so I just know he's around one dan. And the same for me, 30 minutes main time, 3 times 30 seconds. So that would be quite an exciting game. So he started with 2 Oshi, which is very, very popular now with the AI. Usually against this kind of approach, you would go for a Kosumi or a kick, so either here or here. I kind of like to try something a bit more active, so I'm going to pincer. I like the one space pincer high or low because it doesn't allow black. Okay, well, it doesn't allow black to play the Keima, but he still plays it. So usually it's not so good for black because the white stone is really in a good position. It's really hurting black badly, which doesn't mean that this is dramatic, but probably there will be some calculation needed to make sure nobody dies. So at this stage, when black plays the usual sequence, usually there is a bit of room for black to go out, but here, because the white stone immediately threatens to cut at d14, black might have difficulties finding a follow-up. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so black goes for the usual, I would say. So I will go for the usual too. So I cannot let black take this point in terms of liberties. It's absolutely needed for white to play this way. But now I guess white, usually black push, do the Atari first, and then jump at g16. So that would be the natural follow-up, and that's after this sequence that usually the white stone will be in a good position. So I wonder, I don't know this sequence very well either, so I can absolutely screw up too. One of the things I'm not sure, for example, is the difference between if later on I come back playing at c16 or b16. We can see that c16 is removing a liberties from the stone, so it's more forceful. But then black can have a good shape with b16, and usually white has to add a move to live in the corner. So I guess I'm not sure which one of the two moves will be the best. I'm pretty sure both can be played depending on the situation and what kind of follow-up you want. So now, let's say black play the Atari, I go out and he jumps at g16. Usually white push a little bit more to like playing g15, maybe even one time more, just to gain some liberties. Okay, so black plays a solid connection. That's quite rare. It's putting more pressure in the corner because white cannot cut at f17 in the future. So I guess one of the question is if white plays here or here, what is the status of the corner group? Like, can white play very forcefully like that and try to kill, or is it too much? I would say I probably don't need this, so I will just play this way, secure the corner. I mean, my stone is in a very good position to hurt black shape, so there is no rush. If black plays the Hane though, then there is maybe an opportunity for me to try something by playing b15 and then sacrificing the stone. But again, I'm not sure it's either necessary. And okay, so this stone is absolutely important. It's a cutting stone, so never let go a cutting stone. Okay, so obviously I'm in a good position because the corner group is alive for now. Black will probably have b16, b15 Sente. But the shape, black shape is globally not good. So now it's not easy to find the best way to use this very small advantage that I gain from the situation. And it's all about shape. Black didn't play here, so I guess this gives me an opportunity to put a lot of pressure here, but my shape is a bit thin, so I have to be careful too. But still, this is very tempting to make black crawl a little bit on the first line, on the second line. The question is, shall I turn? But this will damage this stone, so I should probably not turn and not play this either. So I will probably play Keima because this looks like putting a lot of pressure on black. Another question is, if black plays h17, can I even do the Hane, which would be great, but that might be a bit too much. So we can see this stone is a kind of Kikashi. So even if, for example, black plays a Hane at c13, I can always do a counter Hane at c12, and I will be able to keep black in a very tight position. So basically, black's shape is not great. So now with my Keima, there is of course a weakness at g15, but right now, even if I just play g16 and he cuts, the ladder is good for me, and whatever my stones can go out. So I have no emergency on the shape. So again, I'm not sure what black will play. He might play g17 or h17. If he plays h17, again, I don't think I can play the Hane at g17, the j17, sorry. It's tempting, but it seems too much. So I will probably just press black on the second line just to get my central stones a bit stronger. And then I might just play c13. So c13 is very forceful, but let's remember that black has some Sente moves against the corner. So black is reading here. I guess he doesn't want to get these stones captured very quickly because the situation is a bit tense on the top, which is probably one of the weaknesses of the f17 move. It put more pressure in the corner, but it put white one step beyond. Basically, black will now be pushing from behind, which is not great. So we should start already focusing on what I'm going to do here next. Let's imagine there is a stone at b15 or b16. Well, b15. What is the best shape for this stone? I can either consider it very light and play something like d10, or I can be very forceful on black's shape, prevent him from having any kind of eye shape, and play either c13 or b13, for example. It's tempting to play b13 because then I can really push black to make me do a fourth line territory. but I guess there are tesuges like the clamp at d12, which might be annoying. So I don't know. It might be better to be light. Let's wait and see what's the sequence on the top leaves me with, because we have to remember I have a weakness here, so I cannot really attack too forcefully. I might actually have to add a move around g13. That might be an interesting choice. This would really put my central group out of danger and keep kind of pressure from the top on black's group. So various options. So as you can see, that's what can happen with pincers. It triggers right straight from the beginning some difficult questions. You have usually groups on both sides, difficult balance of moves. It's very different from playing the Kosumi or the Keima, which usually leads to more, I would say everybody's taking a bit of territory. There is a careful balance of territory to consider. So maybe I didn't say, but in this game I have no komi, so playing more actively is usually good, because otherwise with white you usually go for not a peaceful game, but at least a game where you use your komi to be ahead in points and force black to be very active and aggressive. Whereas here it's the opposite. Black is starting, plus black has no komi to catch up, so I have to be the active player. Okay, so black is taking a lot of time here. I guess he's also wondering if I can play the Hane maybe. Or maybe after pushing once or twice I can Hane. So it's all about making sure this black group at the top leaves. And I guess that's what he's thinking about, because on the left hand side there is plenty of options. Actually, he could also push once and force me to extend. That would, in a way, solve my weaknesses, but it would give some breathing space to this group. But I'm not sure either it's a good exchange, so I would also be... Okay, so he played the Tsuke. I think it's not reasonable to Hane now, because he can crosscut at J16 and I don't have an immediate follow-up. I could capture these 4 stones maybe, because if I Hane and he crosscut, I can Atari and connect, and then I threaten either to push or to extend. But I'm not sure capturing this stone would be so good. It could actually. Okay, I don't think I need that, so I will just extend peacefully. Now, can I Hane after that? Maybe I can Hane now. It still looks dangerous though. As soon as this group gets, well, actually after that I could just play immediately the Keima just to fix my shape. If I play the Keima and I fix my shape, maybe then I can Hane, but the problem is, what if black plays the Hane just after that? So can I Hane is the question. If I Hane, black can do the tiger mouth and cut straight away, but that would probably not be good. And if he cuts at k16, I can actually pull back here, and that threatens the shape quite a lot, because then, okay, I might do that. So let's read again, because that's critical. So he cuts at k16, I pull back at j16. He can then, of course, try to capture this stone. and he will capture it, but then I will capture the 4 stones, which is big in terms of points, and will also secure my central group. So, but that gives a lot of strength to black on the right. I think I will go for that. Having no weak group in the center would be a plus for the future. So, and there is still the San to invade, so it's not like the top is black territory. So if black plays a tiger's mouth and cut, it's easy. I can just Atari and connect. But so of course, if black plays K18, it's all benefit for me. I can think about a double Hane, or I can just connect, and my shape will be much better than if I had just played K16. So the question is, what happens if he plays K16? I still have this weak point at G16, but as I said, I might pull back and just try to capture the stone, the 4 stones. Other options would be so if I extend straight away, he can push and cut, and I'm in real big trouble because these stones are captured and have only 3 liberties. So I don't think I can play that. So can I play Atari? The problem is as soon as he plays this shape, okay, so that's perfect. So now I can think about the double Hane just to make sure it's not worth doing it. So the only problem is if he Ataris here at K16 and we're back to the sequence I was saying, I don't think I can do that. So I'll just play easy and relax. This is very strong move to play there. It kind of fixes my shape. And I still have some additional forcing move afterwards. So I will just consolidate my position. There is no need to take more risks here. Just getting such a low position for black on the top is, I would say, good enough. No, I have options. I can either play, as I said, this or this, but overall it seems like playing around here is good from a shape point of view. This move is tempting too, but then black can try and push and cut, which will lead immediately to another fight. I could also try something a bit larger. So I think I will play safe, just have a normal, yes, so this move is expected. So it's a quadranter shape, but with an extension on the right. Of course, I should know if it's alive or not. I think it might be a southern year core or something there. So white can try something fancy or can play very safely a Hane. Hane would be very slow, but probably very safe. But I think we'll go for something like D11. But this group is still quite weak, which is really good. I still have a very weak point at G15, which is quite annoying, but as long as this group is a bit fragile, there is no problem. So what next? Okay, so clamp directly. So the good thing with this clamp is this move is kind of sente, even if not directly sente. So I can either continue to harass this group slightly. Actually, so I could try just to play there because it would be very forceful again, but it could be interesting because that's quite a vital point for black. But then that would lead me to push from behind there, which might not be very tempting, but that means the move around here is probably sente. but is it the good move to play? So if I play on the third line, black can either try to go on the top and keep an eye on the center. If I play on the fourth line, it's easy for black to settle, but it keeps me a kind of connected shape. The question is all this useful? If I play around here, black will extend probably to stabilize, so I probably need to play I play there just to make sure the ice space for black is very limited. If he plays c13, it's probably definitely a live group, but that means black will have invested a lot of stone on the left and on the top for limited results, let's say that. Now, in this kind of situation, of course, there is always the question about making something out of the attack. Um, I also don't know yet what happens if black plays, for example, b17. Have to be a bit careful about this situation. So Hane, I can play a18, and I hope there is not too much agi with move like c18, but that seems okay. Okay, so black wants to keep an eye on the center, which makes sense. But it's building my bottom left, so that's very, very interesting for me. Again, I don't need more at this stage. If I can come out with my central group is quite safe. I mean, even these two stones, if both group are alive, I won't need to worry about them anymore because it won't be cutting stones anymore. So now I guess one of the questions is, shall I get this stone out? It's tempting because it would help a lot to play this move first. But of course, the question is, will black counterattack, like play c11 or push first at at f14? Try to get something out of the... It's tempting though, so I can even play that, for example. Or just that, because in a way that preserves the agi. This is tempting because nearly black have to play... Well, I guess what I want really is to make sure that I can play c9 at some point. So, but I don't want black to play there because it's too good. So actually I will just play this, it makes sense. It protects the cut at c9. And even if black plays c13, I can still get, for example, this move, not sente, but threatening to do things. So it's interesting. And now what I can do is push after that at e9 and try to build a lovely bottom left. Or of course I could be very safe and play there, but I don't want to leave black taking the whole center. So it's better to come under attack. Probably black will come in because he cannot leave me the whole bottom left. It would be too big. So if I build the center, I will keep pressure on this group, and black will come in, and I'll probably be able at least to build the bottom in Sente. So the important points, as usual, keep the Sente, keep the attack going, keep the tempo, and build territory as you go. That's the target here. On the top, we're still undefined on the best way to go on. It's tempting to press in the hardest possible way and be ready for the cut. So it's quite dangerous. So one way to prepare it would be to play the Tsuke at Q17, because we know that when you play Tsuke, basically, if black plays the Hane at P17, I can go at the Sansan, and it's just like I get a free Kikashi. And if black plays on this side, then it prepares for a nice connection. So it will reduce a bit the corner and prepare for a connection to this group. Another way is to just take the Sansan, take the points, and consolidate this group in the end, which at this stage seems to be what seems to be the best strategy. Okay, so black defend this way, which is interesting because I think even this might be Sente in the future, or at least threatening things, even now, because if I play it now, if black try to Hane, I can push an Atari, and that could get dangerous. So I guess I can play that. If black plays here, it's really a super cool exchange. So I'm going to do it. And if black, for example, force me to do something by playing d11, he will have a very ugly shape. So he is doing that. So that's an ugly shape. And now I have two options. I can either extend, which would really create but then there is a cut, of course. I could try to play this, which would be absolutely forceful. Or I can just secure here, which would be quite good too, because then now black can very quickly have a awful shape. So I'm actually going to do that because it's from a territory point of view, it becomes super difficult for black to do anything. He might approach around here, d5, but he will come under attack, and this group now is completely unsettled because I can remove the eye space. So I have a real weak group, so that means these two stones are very important. So probably black will threaten them now, maybe playing at g. Okay, he's playing that. So if this group is kept weak, the thinking of black is that that kind of help this group, which is true. So now I nearly want to play that because it's asking really a question, or that, because it's also asking a question. But I think the priority is to take care of this group. So I could, just put a bit of pressure like that. Yeah, it kind of, either black decides to kind of solidify his shape locally and like play b13, and then I will have solidify my central group, or black will go out. It could help me build definitely the left-hand side as territory. Probably black can play now g15 just now, just to like a question, because if I play on the top, then black can go out in the center, but this time I will probably keep the pressure on this group by playing f14. So this leaves a very interesting follow-up for black, which is to kind of capture or at least cut these four stones on the top. But right now black doesn't have the time, I guess. So that's the whole point about this sequence. But this probably my game at h16 was not good because I have so many. Every time I have to come back to this g15 point. So it shows that's probably shape-wise it was not a good choice. So now it's always the same when you have an attack like that. What's the best way? When do you take points? When do you keep the pressure from the center? Maybe I will completely disagree with these choices. What I'm sure of is I cannot really attack this group if my central white group is weak. So that's why M16 was probably very good. It was keeping pressure on my group, but Might go and put some light. Okay, so black runs out. So I'm very tempted to keep the attack and build some territory naturally, and I think that's what I will do. Just because any stone in the center is a friend for this group, and it's not like black can counterattack right now and invade, so that means black probably needs to run again, and that means I will be very happy to take points. Black can of course try to be a bit more forceful like d7, but it would be very dangerous for him. So I think I might end up with something like, if I got the whole bottom left, it could be 21 and 10, nearly 30 points. So it's quite a yummy territory to start with. The top left is probably not that big. Of course, my shape is quite weak, so I have a double space jump. Black can play b13 at any point. But right now, as you can see, it's going well, so I might just... So should I be careful or put pressure? I guess there is not too much risk to do that. Put pressure and then I can secure that if I play here. The good thing about being a bit more careful is it might make this kind of move sente, which might make the tsuke by black at h7 less interesting. So I might actually play safer. It gives me more outside moves. So there are still weaknesses around c4, d4. That's why I would like black to go on running and consolidate the left, but I think for now it's going okay. Probably at some point black will counterattack, like maybe now he will push and cut, like g9 and cut at g10. At least I think he has to try something. I think he should play g15 at some point, because if this group gets completely settled, then I won't mind anymore about this group. Okay, so he probably push and cut. So now I can, of course, just extend. A standard way to make black heavier is to Atari and extend, but in this shape, that would allow black to play another center move. So I'd like to play that, but my group is a bit too weak to play that, I think. If I play there and there, yeah. So I might just... Of course, it's tempting. It's important to remember this move could be sent at some point. So I could also play very differently, but that would be, from a shape point of view, it would look really strange, is to play Atari and try to cut. Anyway, I'll play that because it seems nice. Okay, so now I have plenty of things to consider. So this group is a bit weak. These two stones are a bit weak, but these two stones are floating. This group is weak, so plenty of weak groups. I think I need to stabilize the central group first. So I could either be very cautious. I could also consolidate this weakness now in Sante. Well, it's not completely Sante though, so I might not do it. This might not work because there is a peep here. So I might have to be careful. But I am in no rush, like this group is still... I can't let this group right now, it's too fragile, but I still need to keep a bit of pressure. So I could try to be, again, extremely forceful with this kind of move. Again, I have the peep to consider, so I have to be very careful about this peep. I could, of course, push and cut, but I think, again, I don't have to rush. Let's keep this group safe. But again, the G15 is coming back to haunt me, so might have to play it out at some point. So one way to play it out would be to actually, okay, so right now the fight is too hot in the center anyway. So I'm just going to go out. There are some cutting points. I can cut at G6 now. Probably want to just go out peacefully at this stage. Again, there is a cut at G7, so black cannot really extend deeply, so I need some liberties, I need some breathing space, and I don't think black can really, yeah, black need to run too. So that might be the good timing to solve these weaknesses on the top. Of course, I could just play there, but then black plays here and he's nearly settled. Another way is to play there, which might force black to help me consolidate my position. But I'll probably lose Sante, but I might lose it anyway because I need to solve this central group situation. So of course, I can also play here, which is the most forceful of all. This is so big in terms of territory, I just want to play it, but is it reasonable? Or this? If I play here, black can play here. He's nearly alive if I play here. Though he has a bit more problem, but he will really destroy my shape on the top. It's tempting to just fix the shape. But with this Hane, black is nearly alive immediately. Might actually play it now. I need to solve this shape. It's too bad. And it's actually asking the question to black, so I don't want to kill black. I just want to make sure he's basically too busy to make any points. So at some point I have made some good territory here, which is good, but there is still some problems. So this group is probably not killable anymore, though I have to be a bit careful with this Kosumi at L15, for example, but I have a bit more breathing space. This group is weak. Cutting here seems too early, and if this group is alive, cutting won't have any effect. So that's why I am very careful about this. Probably black will be 13, or he might directly, well, he might play any of the moves around here that he thinks is a good shape. If he peeps here first, that could help me because it could fix my shape. It would probably make, okay, he doesn't care. Interesting. So he fixed his shape. Interesting. So he's basically asking me, do you want to take the points or do you want to take care of your groups? If I take the points, we'll have a lead in territory, but then black will start chasing me and the situation might reverse. So I'm not in a hurry to take points. Priorities on the group. We can consider this move is Sante, so the question is, can I play as far as here, or how do I keep the pressure on, or should I pressurize this group? So I think jumping is important because a black move here would be very painful. And actually right now this black group is a bit more in danger than this black group, which is nearly settled. So we don't have time to take points. The only moment where I could do it was when I played d6 because it was a natural move when chasing. But apart from that, securing the group is more important than taking points at this stage. You cannot make points if you spend the whole time defending your weak groups, basically. So the game started well, but right now it's a bit difficult to say. I probably have a slight point advantage, but situation is not so easy for me either. I think I will just jump because, again, the Keima, as long as the Keima is a big move, I can jump. And I'm slowly isolating these stones. So probably black will play either O3 or R6. Probably will play R6. Okay, no, he doesn't. So now, of course, the question is which way to go and how to go. So I could go there, but black could try to split me and I could end up in a difficult situation. I could also just play here, try to keep my stone connected and make sure black is only doing small isolated groups, pretty much like you do in a handicap game. You just try to keep black separated and in the end you hope that the territory he will be making are too small. So that would be my strategy. Playing the San starts to be very big. So I would need to come with Sente. So this group is not really weak now anymore. Even if there are, of course, with all the Tobis, we all have strange shape problems. So the question, of course, could be instead of the San, try to do it Suke to go a bit more on the right hand side, like extend and try to threaten a little bit more this group. That might actually be a good strategy. So if black extends, I might have a few forcing moves that might completely separate this group from this stone, which is the target here. Now there is a little question about points at the bottom, so I could play something like e4 to both secure my points here and threaten to do more. Or I could straight away play here. Okay, so wow, black is pincering. So I was not expecting that. Okay, so now I need to think. So I need to keep these two stones split, that's for sure. Playing kicks like that is usually not very good. I could, of course, just go over this. It might actually be good to just consolidate these stones. It would help me make a live group here. So probably then we'll reach the natural follow-up. He will push and then he will jump. So the problem with that, he will have played on both sides, I guess. But then this group might be in trouble. Or I could counter pincer. Of course, if this group is not fully alive, that would help. I'm not saying he's alive, but he's very difficult to kill at this stage. Black playing at O3 would be really distasteful. So the question is, how can I keep this group under attack and still prevent these stones from connecting? Okay, I guess this, and I still have options to try and come like the clamp at K4. So, and again, I'm keeping all my stones together. Okay. So if black push, I will be able to block, and these stones will start to be very weak. And then there will be the question of, can I split these stones from these stones? Like with a move around G4, for example. Let's remember there is a cut here, so it can be useful. Or a kind of splitting move around J5. But J4 seems interesting point because I don't see an easy shape move by black. Wow. Okay. So maybe black hopes to get Sante out of this. So can I play something very strange like R5 or the Sansan, or I think I'm quite happy to split. Doesn't look like this stone is bringing much to black anyway. I mean, black could just have R6, it would have threatened to connect underneath, and it would nearly have been okay for black then to play a move around Q2, which would have threatened to connect underneath. So I keep an eye on playing a move around J4. Black might push, but then I can really play the Tsuke here, which would be strong, and which would put a lot of pressure on this group. So the question is, can black live in one move here? I guess that's the question. He might be able to. And I think that's what he relies on. So if I play E13 first, though, I think he might be in a trouble. I think he's looking at the peep, but then I can connect. Okay, so this move is strange because it threatens, it helps me to cut later on, which would be a big move. And I think descending is still Sente. So now if I cut, I capture the stone. So of course I could play that, but it's not that good. And so I'm just gonna play safe, like keeping everybody split. So even like that, it's not very clear if, okay, so black is really trying to defend the corner. I could actually try and play something fancy. But for now, I would really like to play around here. So I'm gonna play this move now because it looks like a severe attack on this black group. And if I can end up in Sente, I could try to attack this group. So here, I'm not sure I could block, which would make this group less safe, or I could try either to clamp or to play R5. I even have R3, which is Sente, so if I play R3, R5, okay, so, well, I guess I have two options, either to pressurize black and force him to live low, or I could try to cut. But black might push, of course, and try to do something, so I could also just focus on this black group. This would be very safe because this would help my... So can black push and cut? That looks like an ugly shape. So now if black plays here, I have the centi move here, which is super big. And I can even jump and make territory, and all this basically has no eye, so that would be interesting. But this group must not die, so that's the only problem. Other option is to be safe side, push black to be along the third line, and remove all the eyes here. It actually might be safer. I kind of like this move though. Okay, let's be safe. I think it's probably good enough. Black will probably play here, and then I can just let him push from behind again, and this weakens this group naturally. The good point about this move is it makes this group so much stronger. So I really wonder if there is something around here. I think the clamp seems really good. Whatever happens, I don't see a good move for black immediately afterwards. Now that I'm strong, even if black goes out, I can sacrifice a bit of this and try to capture the corner, which would be big in terms of points. Okay, so the only thing is I must not lose centi, which could very well happen. So with this stone, this group is far from being alive, which is the good point. So probably black will play a Keima. Oh, or a jump. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Does this work though? So then I can of course push and cut. And I guess it could become a running fight in terms of liberties. Interesting. So I wonder what black will play here, really. He cannot block, I guess, except he wants to trigger a liberty race between this group and this group. So maybe I should just calculate. So there is a tombstone Tesuji here. Capture, he will go down. Okay. Okay, now I have to count because it's a liberty race. So if I push and cut, he will go there. So I lose my points also, which I have to be careful about. Question is, can I do something after that? Okay, so I guess I have to push anyway. I cannot let. Yes, Steven, you can say hi in the chat. That's a good thing about this Discord Twitch integration. So I guess now what's happening is black will block, I will cut. Oh, black backs off. Okay. Well, no, I really want to take the move here. It would secure my points and threaten the life here. So I'm gonna do that anyway, because this is so big. So now I can connect on both sides here and here, so these 4 stones are not in danger anymore. This group is probably alive, but I can probably connect at some point in Sante. And black can take this stone, but it would be Gote, so there is no urgency. Okay, so black is playing here. I guess there is a question of, is he alive if I play here? This move looks like in the future it could become a Tesuji, but it's probably in the future. Okay, so right now there is no immediate urgency, so I might play this clamp, which was waiting. Because if I can fill up a liberty in the process here, it might help trying to kill this group. So I can see this move. Okay. Well, I think black will have these stones for sure, because what I want is the corner. So I'm just gonna push. Okay, so now I want to play here, of course. And I will do it. So now the corner seems to be in danger for black. Black can play here and cut, but I have this move, Sante. Okay. Well, so I've protected this cut already. And once I cut, I can capture these stones, so black cannot play on all sides. So of course I have to be careful about this group. But as I said, I think this move might, okay. Well, no, if I capture this, I guess I have enough liberty to kill the corner. I could even try to play R3 very quickly, even before capturing this stone, but this stone seems so big. So black will play P8 for sure, which means I capture, he will throw in, and then he will try to leave in the corner. Wow. Okay, so now I will take these 4 stones. That's too nice to take. So that's a profit for sure. So the clamp definitely, because even after black plays this move in Sante, so the good thing is I think there is really no AG even if black plays all the Atari. Okay, this one. So now I'm super safe. So I can really start thinking about playing a very forceful move here, like this peep. And maybe even this, I can then play a ko if I want. Or I said this move, because if black plays here, I can play there and then there. So there are plenty of options in the corner. So this is not even Sente, so I can play elsewhere. Okay, so that's definitely a good output. And now I can even probably connect this in Sente, but I think more important, I'm gonna play this. So I've made around 10 points of territory here. This is probably territory, because if black plays here, I probably will have a move on d2 in Sante, and then I really don't see this group alive. Okay, so I'm never entirely sure what's the best shape move, but here I want to make sure black will probably have to play s15 just to keep a connection. Or maybe the solid connection at q15. So I will be able to take a nice corner, and black will be really low on points. So it's all about this group. I need to make sure, okay, well, this, so that's, so I'm more interested into this side than the top, because what I want really is to keep an eye on this group, which is completely not alive. And now that these 4 stones are taken, so now this group, this move is usually played by the AI, but here I don't think it's actually, is it? No, it's not really interesting. This move is probably, if not Sante, at least damaging. So now I think the next point will be to connect this in Sante if I can, but it's white turn, so I guess at some point I would like to play a safe move around here to make sure I'm alive. So black will probably play, I have the clamp if he doesn't add a move, which basically capture the, okay. So I need to erase this and consolidate this group, and I will be, I think it will be ahead on points. Question is, what's the best way without taking any risk? Just play okay mites threaten. So basically, let's count. Oh, I'm in Byoyomi nearly. I didn't even see it. I'm not used to OGS Byoyomi. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. Kind of put some pressure into this group, and it's big. And then I might not take any chance, just playing the Hane at f2 and connect safely. I think I'm ahead on points. So that's 21, that's 30 points. Yeah. So now that black is nearly alive, I guess the question is, can I maybe play this kind of move? And because I don't mind about these stones really anymore. So this capture was super big for this reason. It stabilized my whole group. So now these stones are not so important anymore. Okay. So I'm happy with that, because in a way it makes sure that there is no more trouble in the corner. So I was counting 21, 30 points, 38. Okay, so that's very good for me too, because now I'm alive without any carpenter square things in the corner, and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7 solid points. So that's 37, and probably around 9, 8 points, 45, and around 10 points here, 55. That's black has 55. 2, 3, 4, 5, probably around 4 points max here, and 4, so that's 15 with 3 corners. Does he have 35 points here? I don't think so. So you see my point here is to be able to push and cut and capture this stone, which would reduce the overall. Okay. Just need to be careful not to die in there. Okay, so it's tempting to play here. Let's play it just to see how black answers, because now this stone's not being in trouble, but at least there is questions about how black is going to answer. And if black's cut, I can Atari and push and go into this territory here. And if black plays here, I don't really mind him playing here because I have so many liberties. So he has only 30 seconds left. So I guess he will play there. I will push. I can sacrifice this, and then I have to take care of this group to make sure I'm not dying. Okay. So I think he's threatening to kill this group. But I'm not even in a hurry because I can actually, of course, this would be super big. I can probably play here because even if he cuts, I can sacrifice and destroy this part, and I still have the connection here, so it doesn't have that many points. And I can still crawl at S13 and take more points at S9, so this part is probably not big anymore. And I've made it nearly impossible to kill now. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's nearly Sante because if I push and push, and it's very thick move. So if black plays here, there's still a bit of agi. Okay, so that's very good. I can even play this move now in Sante. So let's play this move, which is big, and I think maybe Sante. Pretty sure it's Sante. But I can play here, and then here, and I don't see two eyes really. Okay. So I guess black wants to play this move, so that playing around here is a problem. Which is true, but I'm making a lot of solid points, and now I wonder if there is not a bit of... So probably playing around here is Sentinel. Okay, so black will play k4. Kind of overlook this a little bit. Okay, I will lose some points here because I played very strangely. So is this still killing? I'm not sure. Okay, so black takes some points. No, I guess I really want to know if I can kill because I thought I could, and let's play it anyway. It's an annoying move, whatever happens. And if black plays here, okay. So I could play here. If I play here, okay, let's take one Byoyomi on that. So of course I can play here and yeah, so black can play. I should have. I forget that black could threaten to connect on the right. So I guess the question is now, can I do something here? But I cannot. So I've lost a lot of points in this sequence, which was really, so I played really badly in the last moves. Okay, so what's going on now? So I guess black can play here. I can play here. Okay, this has become a difficult, complex situation because there might be a ko. I think there is something in any case. Okay. So I can try to threaten and kill here by ko, right? Yes. So ko is very good. If there is a ko. I think there is a ko. So let's find some ko thread before I don't have any more time. So this one will be a big one. Really? Yeah, it's a ko to win. Okay, so black will throw in at L1, I'll take. And then where are my ko threads? So big. So I guess this is a ko thread too, because then I can capture all this. So I have some ko threads. I didn't check if black had some, but even if black threatened this, for example, is that big enough? I don't think so. It's so big. Okay, so we're back to normal Jose, but my territory extended a bit. This looks big. Yeah, this was big. Okay, so I'm not commenting too much at this stage, staying focused on the game. I guess this move is big because it guarantees that I'm alive here, which was not absolutely safe. And yeah, I think I have far enough points with the big capture at the bottom. I didn't recalculate though, so I hope I'm not mistaken. So there will be a big move at Q1. What else? Not so many things remaining, right? It's just push everywhere. There are probably some stones that I can capture here. Yeah, I don't think black has anything there. Technically, this move is Sante, so capturing this stone is, yeah. I guess I can play this. Play this. It's always good to play all the Sante moves. Of course, you have to be careful about keeping co-threats, but yeah, so black will push, asking me the question, do you dare to connect there? I will probably dare, hoping that I'm not miscalculating. So 6, 7, yeah. I should count really, but I know I have around 30 points here. This is 20 more, yes, 20 more points. 16, so 66, 66 and 10, 86 and 8. Probably I have around 95, a bit more. So really not many things left. Yes. Okay, so we're in the very little Jose. I didn't count black points around. So I guess I don't want to get tricked in this corner. So black, black. So I got one eye, and then I can play this. Okay, no, that should be okay. So this is 1 point. Let's take this move because I'm not 100% sure I will dare to connect. I don't want to lose the game on this. So let's save this point. There is 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, maybe one half a point here. Okay, so that's one, that's another one. Yeah, so this one is a point too. This one too. And there, I don't think there is a point, maybe one here. Yeah, if black plays here, I have to play here. So it's very important to not lose points in these final moments. Oh, is this a point? Oh yeah. So this was a point because black can play here. Actually, that might have been a big point, yeah. Okay, but this one is big too. Well, not big, it's 1 point, but I think if black doesn't answer, I have another point. Okay, is there anything left? So this looks like it might have been a point. I think that might be a point too. But I first want to consolidate my overall shape here. I'm always a bit afraid. Oh, Peter, hi. I'm probably very late seeing this message. Will black manage to make me connect? Maybe. I don't know. I just don't want to lose on a stupid shape in the center. Oh, I don't know what black was afraid of here, really. Yeah, that was probably a point. Okay, I guess that's it. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh, so my beginning was not good. Interesting to know. Okay, maybe we can do a live comment together. So I'm gonna try and call. Um, so actually, I might just stop the Twitch review here because I did my explanation on the channel, and I don't know how to stream the review we would do on Discord. So I hope you enjoyed the game, and I'm gonna pause the Twitch now. See you next week if I manage to stop it.